What's going on, YouTube? My name is Jacob, and I know that I stated in one of my previous videos that Black Ops 3 would release with a lot of previous issues that the other COD titles had. The lack of innovation, not enough varied game modes, and the same formula, which I admit is the strongest aspect of the game itself. But I believe that it has reached the end of the line when you compare Call of Duty to its competitors. And I say all this judging on Advanced Warfare and the countless hours of gameplay that you can now see on YouTube from the very popular YouTubers out there. You can honestly say it's just cashing in. It's uninspired. It's just not enough to get by. And you cannot say that the new selling point, which is this year's 4-player co-op, is something to praise. Because in my humble opinion, it's not. They're just sticking in simple mechanics from preceding titles and calling it new. And you might be thinking that I hate Call of Duty and that I like to bash on Call of Duty, but I don't. I really do in fact enjoy Call of Duty itself for the same reason. But for the same reason, these issues must be pointed out so the franchise itself can be successful once again. But there's no denying that in order for that to happen, they will have to get back on their feet and innovate. Because just like in nature, evolution is key for success. If the polar bear were to ditch the many characteristics, including the white-looking fur that helps it survive in the hostile below freezing temperatures, it would die. He would die of intense cold and hunger since he ditched everything that was important, that was an important role in his survival. The polar bear had to evolve into something completely different to stay relevant and not become extinct. Call of Duty is the polar bear in this scenario, and if they don't start heading in another direction, the franchise itself would die of hunger because the consumer would not be buying the game as much, and they won't have the resources to stay relevant. And eventually other predators will take over, meaning the competition they face. But I believe it can be done, and it can be executed by mimicking and watching carefully what other games are doing so successfully. Battlefield has been, a top contender, a game that can assist on the revival of this franchise, or the dying franchise, I guess you could say. Because whichever way you see it, Call of Duty lacks a hefty amount of cooperation, teamwork, and positive socialization. And I really believe that these mechanics should be implemented in COD. Imagine how much better it would be that instead of just supporting some random teammate on a warbird, or by throwing some random threat grenades, hoping that to spot the enemies, and that hoping that he would hit place his shots carefully and actually take out the target, you could actually drive the airship itself to a specific objective or a spawn point that only the cockpit driver can see. This will encourage the pilot to communicate with his gunner to become an unstoppable force of nature and just wreck enemies left and right. Same with the Paladin. There's really not much you can actually do when you jump to support this particular gunship as well. It's very limited. I mean, every time I see it pop out on my screen that that I can support it, I really don't. I'd just rather go on and do some simple shooting instead and go on with my kill streaks. In Battlefield, if you have a squad member in the gun of your Abrams tank, you can do some serious damage. Since he has sort of more visibility and and can move the turret in a 360 degree faster than the main gun, the main cannon. Meaning he can advise you if there's maybe choppers shooting you from behind, or fucking engineers spamming their RPGs at you. The same way, and it's the same way with the Little Bird or the Apache, helicopter. It's always better, to have a good pilot and maybe your squad mates next to you, spamming out rockets, or maybe healing you in the process. You're getting shot down and you have an engineer with you and he's, repairing you. You see what I mean? This is where, teamwork plays an important role in Battlefield. It makes it so much, more fun of an experience to have with your friends. In COD, teamwork is, nearly non-existent. The most you can do is maybe tell your teammates, to get on the hard point of the domination points to capture them faster. Nothing too significant. Nobody really cares, also about the ray gun drone, which is, meant to help your teammates because, you're gonna be spotting them, and they'll be taking them out, and you'll be earning points, like assist points as they get the kills. But it is very rare when you actually see somebody using, that useless drone. I don't use it. I've never used it. I don't plan on using it. It's just taking one of my, kill streaks, slots away. And even when you have somebody, and even when you save somebody, when you get that random savior medal that you just saved, somebody, I'm just sitting there like scratching my head like, oh, okay, I wasn't really trying to save anybody, but I mean, thanks for the points. You know what I mean? It's an every man for himself situation in every, even though it's an objective based game and there are full lobbies on both teams, it's every man for himself. The most you can do, I'm telling you, is just capture the points, at the same time, so they can go off faster, and you will get shot down by the enemy team that's trying to capture the same points and maybe trying to do the same thing at the same goddamn time, which is a shame. And the fact is, people don't like, to socialize in COD. We gotta be honest. 90% of the time, they don't have their mic on, and if they do, they're probably in another lobby with another friend. Maybe their friend's playing another game. And this is due to the fact that if you just say one word on the pre-game lobby, you'll be hit with a barrage of insults, from a ton of squeakers. There's, a lot of those, and grown-ass men, that like to be, Mr. Internet Tough. I have never made friends on any Call of Duty lobby, and neither do I intend to, because I'll be honest, you simply can't. I tried. Don't get me wrong, I've tried. I remember I put on my mic once and I said, hey, what's up guys, just trying to be friendly, trying to socialize. That's my personality. I like to socialize with people and, meet some cool people online. And I immediately got hit with a barrage of insults. From a fuck you, what the fuck do you want, from just about everything. Just about every dirty insult that you can think on Xbox Live, it was there. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I definitely cannot make friends on Call of Duty. And you can basically describe COD as being, as a mindless shooting. If you want some some mindless shooting with, if you don't want to socialize, COD will be on the list. Okay. In Battlefield, communication is encouraged because success heavily relies on communication. But obviously, for this, Call of Duty would have to, dramatically, make some changes, new game modes, maybe a class system where you can actually support your squad mates, and I'm not saying, copying exactly what, Battlefield does, but their own version. They have developers that are capable of doing this, but for some reason it's not being executed. I don't understand why. Hopefully one day, they'll be able to, take up all the, all these, restrictions, which I'm pretty sure they're coming out from, from the top fish up there, the CEOs that you just want to make money, and they're like, no, it has to be yearly, it has to be simple, every year, people will buy it, I don't care, Also, they gotta have, bigger maps, bigger player counts, the most they can go up is, AB8 on the same, tiny-ish maps, there's, they're still really small. They don't fit the AB8, And the thing is, whether you're on PC, on Xbox, Live, or playing on PS4 online, your experience should be, should encourage you to team up with, down-to-earth, ready to fuck up shit, people and play the games that you love. And it doesn't matter if COD stops releasing, yearly titles. Let them cook in the oven for another year or so they can be perfected, and so every little issue can be ironed out. So by the time it releases, it could be a better game, and it will be a better game. There's no doubt about that. A perfect example is Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, 4 released on April 29, 2008, and Grand Theft Auto 5 released on September 17, 2013, with significant improvements, to graphics and gameplay. And that gives you an idea on what happens when you treat your game with with a proper care. Now, Call of Duty doesn't have to release every 4 or 5 years, but that extra development time will give it time to cook properly, and it's gotta be so it can be the game that it should be. Maybe like have glorious times, just like MW2. I still remember the game. Hopefully, you know, one day it'll get remastered because I really did enjoy that game. But that's a cold hard truth. Call of Duty needs to move on from the simplistic formula. People are getting bored. The fact that they don't want to show the player count like they used to before gives you an idea of, you know, how scared they are to show the public how, you know, how much people are actually playing the game. I know on PC maybe you can actually see it. I don't play on PC, but I've heard that you can actually see the player count on each playlist. I'm not entirely sure. I could be wrong about this, but the thing is, they have to innovate. They have to evolve, and I believe that, you know, by putting cooperation, you know, encouraging teamwork, and, you know, just positive socialization, because the more teamwork you have, you know, the more gadgets, the fact that you can communicate with people better, it's going to improve this. Okay, it will improve this, and it's going to make it a better game to enjoy. There's no denying that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and share. This is Jacob, logging off.